Don't forget what God has done. Find out how to remember God's blessings in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. My mom told me, you know how to eat, you should know how to cook. So she taught me a few essential recipes. I could make pancakes, pork chops, and chocolate chip cookies. That way I could have the three most important meals of the day: breakfast, lunch, and dessert. The Israelites in the wilderness were having a little trouble with their recipes. As time passed, they began complaining about the manna God had provided them to eat. In Numbers chapter 11, beginning with verse 4, this is what happened. Now the rabble that was among them had a strong craving. And the people of Israel also wept again and said, "Oh, that we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt, that cost nothing, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our strength is dried up, and there's nothing at all but this manna to look at." The people of Israel forgot a couple of essential factors. Number one, without the manna, they would starve. And number two, God had provided them with exactly what they needed. Don't forget what God has done. Too often we have a memory problem. It's not always that we forget, it's just that we sometimes have a selective memory. The Israelites remembered all the fantastic food they had in Egypt, the delicious leeks and onions, and the garlic. They conveniently forgot the part about being slaves. They were also selective in what they remembered about God. God had provided them with manna. The Israelites literally walked out of their tent each morning and collected the day's meal on the doorstep. Talk about convenience. It was better than Walmart delivery. Not to mention that they were in the desert. There was no food anywhere. All they had to do was walk outside and scoop it up. Oh, and God provided water too, in the desert, where there is no water. God gave them exactly what they needed. All they could say in gratitude was, "But our strength is dried up and there's nothing at all but this manna to look at." They sounded like toddlers in the back seat on the way to Grandma's house. "Aren't we there yet? All we have to eat is these Pop-Tarts." Pop-Tarts that they chose to bring on the trip. But I digress. We tend to focus on the negative. The problem is that focusing on the negative makes you forget life's positive and very important factors. The people of Israel focused on the negative. They only had manna to eat, and forgot that without the manna, they had nothing to eat. When we focus on the negative, we forget the extraordinary things that God has done. We forget how God saved us, sustained us, and provided for us, all because the milk soured in the refrigerator, even though it is a week out of date and we didn't bother to run by the grocery store after work. The hymn, "Count Your Blessings," is well known for a reason. We all need to do precisely that, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done, as the hymn reminds us. Take time each day to thank God for what He's done. You'll find what He has done far outweighs whatever negative this world may throw at you. Practice remembering the blessings of God, because now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.